I have two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
Breaking news now on a stunning exchange in a Senate hearing just a short time ago. Texas Senator Ted Cruz grilling the Attorney General, Eric Holder. This all relates to why Rand Paul is filibustering right now to some extent as well. But this issue about drone strikes. And not just drone strikes on our enemies overseas, but drone strikes on American citizens here on American soil perpetrated by our own government. So Ted Cruz, a senator, talks to Mr. Holder about this and comes down on Mr. Holder after the Attorney General suggested that President Obama can act, potentially, hypothetically, as judge, jury, and indeed executioner, and order a deadly drone strike against an American citizen right here inside of the United States. Senator Cruz pushed him on that, and here's the Attorney General's response.
Does the Constitution allow a U.S. citizen on U.S. soil who doesn't pose an imminent threat to be killed by the U.S. government?
I do not believe that. Again, you have to look at all of the facts, but on the facts that you have given me, and this is a hypothetical, I would not think that in that situation the use of a drone or lethal force would be appropriate, because the possibility...
General Holder, I have to tell you, I find it remarkable that in that hypothetical, which is deliberately very simple, you are unable to give a simple one-word, one-syllable answer, no.
Joining me now, Iowa Republican Senator Charles Grassley, who's the top Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Sir, thank you for being here. So now we see Ted Cruz. We saw Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul, who's now filibustering John Brennan's confirmation as CIA director, because John Brennan also refused to categorically deny the possibility of using drones and killing Americans on U.S. soil. And you yourself, all three, and you are just a handful of the folks who are upset about Attorney General's position on this. Tell us why.
Well, first of all, it goes back several months at the same time when Chairman Leahy and I wrote a letter for the justification for the use of drones to kill American citizens overseas. Now, of course, the justification was given at that time you could. We still don't have the documents or the legal basis for it. We're still trying to get that. But now they've assumed that you could probably do that within the United States. So you can, without a trial, without an arrest, without any charges, just decide for some reason or other this person should be executed by drone. Now, you heard Senator Cruz say that he was going to introduce a bill that would deny that power to the president. So then I followed up and asked General Holder if he thought that that bill would be unconstitutional, and he said yes, under the Second Amendment or Second Article of the Constitution, that would be unconstitutional in his judgment. So what I find really surprising here is we have now President Obama acting different than when he was Senator Obama, and they found fault with Bush exercising what Bush called the unitary executive theory, that the president was kind of all-powerful. They were finding very much fault with that at that particular time, and now they're assuming the same power that they accused Bush of not having the constitutional authority to do it.
All right, but let me play devil's advocate on this for a minute, because in Attorney General Holder's response to Senator Paul, he said, look, the question is entirely hypothetical. I suppose it's possible to imagine an extraordinary circumstance where it would be necessary and appropriate to do this on U.S. soil to a U.S. citizen. But he says, for example, the president could conceivably have no choice but to do it if necessary to protect the homeland in circumstances of a catastrophic attack like the ones we saw at Pearl Harbor or on 9/11 in 2001. What about that, Senator Grassley? What if we had a situation like we saw on 9/11 where, you know, what if the passengers on board that fourth aircraft hadn't brought that plane down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania? And there had been talk about whether we were prepared to shoot that plane down to save countless other lives. And would we have had a jury trial before we did that? Would not our president have had the authority to make that call?
Well, without answering your question, because it's a tough one to answer, but I can tell you here again, you have General Holder taking two sides, different sides on the same issue. You know, when Bush made
I get it. Forgive me for interrupting you, but I get it. You made the hypocrisy point. But I want to get to the substance, because I see how it's easy to get outraged at the thought of, you know, Senator Paul was saying, you're going to be sitting there eating your dinner, you could be sitting there eating your dinner, you're going to get droned to death. And I laugh because that's a little extreme. But Eric Holder seems to be talking about in a truly catastrophic situation, do we really want to tie the Commander-in-Chief's hands?
I think the answer to your question is a very basic one that you would learn in any political science class, where a society based upon the rule of law and the Constitution is a very basic document, and the Constitution has to be followed. And at this point, I don't see where the President gets the authority to be executioner for American citizens on American soil. I would look at that differently. American citizen that's exercising with a jurisdiction of people that wanted to kill Americans, entirely different.
Yeah.
Or I would look at somebody that wasn't an American citizen in this country. If you were dealing with foreign nations or foreign operation that wanted to kill Americans, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, but we have rights. We have constitutional rights here in this country, and you and many others are making the point that you believe they could be violated here. Senator, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.